the father and son team with some amazing music that's just going to blow your mind. Mark and Sean McNeil. About what you're performing tonight is that it's an original song that Sean wrote, who is not usually on the keys in front of people. So he wrote it by himself and said, "Hey, Dad, why don't you put some music to this?" And then you added in a little, well, I don't want to blow it, but he added in something. And it's pretty cool. Well, maybe they don't know. I don't know. So tell me a little bit about that.
The song is called The Journey, and I think hopefully the title will speak for itself, because there's a lot of ups and downs. You know, it's emotional for me, hopefully it is for, whoever listens. When I wrote it for, an original piano piece, just strictly piano. And then I started listening to it again, and I was like, wow, this could use an orchestration, but I don't have access for an orchestra. So this is the next best thing. So I figured I'd layer some strings over the piano and then ask him to play whatever instrument, because he can play everything, but I chose cello, and he feels it right out.
Awesome. Let's give everybody a little taste of that. Please, everybody, welcome Sean and Mark and Fiona. judges have. I kind of like to. I'm just getting I got this gut feeling. It's this thing I have. So, but let's see what the judges have to say about it. Joe.
I have to say, you introduced it when you were talking about the dynamic of your family growing up and your father. And I'm going to say, as being a kid, well, screw you, but
He has a new baby.
As a new father, and I can only imagine that it must be an incredible feeling to be able to share the stage and play with your son. I was moved by it, having grown up listening to classical music, and I like the overtures, the way you guys played it. And I didn't even realize there was a cello, the smallest cello I've ever seen. But I just really, yes. I thought it was incredible, and I'm giving you a 10.
Anyways, listening to this song, I liked the banter, that was great, father and son, the story. I could tell the passion behind the original composition. There was one point where you played and you had your strings on the foot going, and you weren't even touching the keys, you just did this whole, which was kind of cool. That song, you seriously should submit it for Game of Thrones or something, because that's, maybe not that show, but some sort of, movie or whatnot.
What'd you give them?
Well, we'll get to that. The first part I liked, and then there was a break where it was upbeat. I loved, and then the last part, I swear to God, cried just a little bit. So,
Single tear.
Mic drop.
I loved how it started off, and one of the things that I love in music is negative space. And when you stop and you take that breath, and then you come back, and it's just oh.
She went, oh.
I did. I kept sighing. It was just emotional. And you are up here. You're not jumping in the crowd and crowd surfing and everything, but you both still communicated so much. And you win Best Performance by a Mustache tonight, sir.
Oh, right.
And you can only hope to grow a mustache as bountiful as your father's.
More,
You're so completely talented, and I know this is nothing for you to do that. You were just yeah, okay, whatever. You were incredibly talented.
Yoda.
Anyway, we loved you, and I gave you a 10 as well. Our first perfect score